Hello and welcome to the ORCA pod, Sydney Survivor, episode 5. It's going to be a big podcast. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff because we've got two boots to talk to. We've got a big tribal, a big twist to talk about. And look, spoiler alert, if you don't know what happened on the weekend, if you haven't seen the footage as yet, turn off now, come back later once you got to look at it, because we've got a very special guest joining us today from the ORCA pod. It was a valiant performance, which everyone was impressed by. They took me out. That's part of the game. But ultimately, I got my revenge because I outlasted Jules in Drunkvivor.
Boom. How did I know that's what you were talking about?
Boom.
Yeah, and how did you do in the game?
I lost Final Tribal Council. I came second.
Yeah.
To Max, and I'm always happy to lose to Max. Who doesn't love Max?
I would much rather play a great game and be voted out than be a losing Final Tribalist. Just saying.
I think I'd rather make the Final Tribal, let's be real. But Jules did wonderfully blindside me. Because Drunkvivor is stupid, I was able to come back in the game because it's always just ridiculous. Came back, took out her idol with an idol nullifier and got her out at 6. So it was just
an overpowered idol nullifier too.
I was super overpowered after the votes. Ridiculous. Okay, so now what I was actually alluding to, so spoilers. If you haven't watched Melbourne with Playing with Fire finale, that's on you. Spoilers, cut now, done. We have with us, very exciting, the winner of Melbourne Survivor Playing with Fire for all his takes. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of really interesting things to say. I'm sure he's going to mention Denise like 50 times on this podcast. Welcome, the winner of Playing with Fire, John.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, John.
Hey, John.
Hi, Jules. Hi, CK. I think winning Playing with Fire was a small achievement, but I didn't think it compares against making Final Tribal Council in Drunkvivor and taking out Jules. So,
Oh, come
the
on.
real champion.
Come on. Whose side are you on?
Admittedly, Jules was playing the best game in Drunkvivor when she was taken out, and it was easy to get her out. Easy, because she was going to win the whole thing.
Who played better, me in Drunkvivor or Laurel?
Oh, you in Drunkvivor.
Or Laurel in Drunkvivor or Laurel in Playing with Fire?
No, more Laurel in Playing with Fire.
Yeah, you in Drunkvivor. You're playing a very solid game. That's why you had to go.
The whole watch party pregame.
So we got a big episode of Sydney Survivor. We've got a big twist this week. We're going to get into a lot of that. Now, did anyone take notes? Did the class take notes? Okay, so hang on. Max Johnson wants to know, are we talking Drunkvivor? Yes, we are.
Max
We're
was my
about
ride
the
or
new
die.
Drunkvivor champion, Max Johnson.
Max is the only person I didn't betray, and then I stumped for him to win Final Tribal.
This is how ridiculous Drunkvivor.
I'm the reason that you lost.
Me?
Yeah, because
Max was the only person.
Max played the best game.
Max was the only person on the 4-person final tribal council that hadn't been voted out, so he was a bit of a slam dunk. But that's the absurdity of Drunkvivor. I recommend to anyone who gets a chance to play it. Okay, so you took some notes. That's good because I didn't. It was a long episode and I didn't rewatch it. But we start off the episode with some significant coverage on both tribes from the fallout of the prior vote. And we've got the Reds coming back to tribal and discussing the decision to vote out Lizzie. And Ethan is all in on trying to convince Merlene and Jazz that they're going to be together at the merge, and they should all just presumably vote out Christy at the next one. Though I don't think anyone was actually angling for that. The Merlene, Jazz, Ethan, Matt P alliance is the weakest fucking alliance I've ever since me and Brady played a game together. There is no actual alliance between those 4 people.
Well, before we even got to all of them talking, we had conversation with Christy, Ethan, I think Matt was there. Christy was promising that, yes, I'm going to go with you guys next time because they're basically telling her, you're the swing vote now, which she absolutely is. She's promising the boys she's going to go with them. And then she was sort of like, well, I don't really trust the boys. They've been telling me what I want to hear this whole time, but the girls are super close. So I think it was a tough decision for her.
So I think Christy really set this up actually in the last episode when she and Lizzie were kind of flagging to them you vote out Lizzie now. Like, what's going to happen? Like, you guys are going to have to go against each other next round. Which, when they don't technically have to go against each other next round, but she's already put it out there that they are coming for each other. So now there's that like lack of trust, and that going back a few episodes, what we were saying when they were pretending that there was a divide between the two couples, but there might actually be a divide because perception is reality now. And then Christy can be that lone person in the middle playing each other off against each other. And like, I think we start to see, despite she's on the bottom, technically on the bottom of this tribe and has no right to have any say, she's really controlling the game. And I think it just starts with those little subtle conversations she's having, such as the one we see with Ethan and Matt.
It's the right move to split the pairs at that point anyway, because if you don't do that and then you lose another challenge, you've got some sort of 2-2 situation. There might need to be a tiebreaker. Whereas right now you make your decision and then you've got another couple of votes to save, and then you've got the two of you, and you can always do Christy when there's down to 3 if that's what happens to your group. So it makes sense for everyone to keep Christy this one more. And I think everyone looks at Christy like she's a huge shield in the merge, which I think she will be.
Absolutely. Like, no one's going to let Christy get anywhere near that final tribal. We've seen it the first time. We know that that's the strongest point of her game. She can convince people to vote for her in the end. And yeah, so I think she'll be a huge shield. I don't see her getting much further than the merge. I think she'll be too big of a shield.
Yeah, I think so.
I think though that like she's the perfect person though to take to around like 5, because like if you are a threat and you're the type of player that gets taken out, early-ish merge for being a threat, you want to keep Christy, and then towards the end you can point her out as that person you can't sit next to at Final Tribal Council, and then they'll keep you over her.
I agree with that from a big player's perspective, but a smaller player might be wanting to make a move, get something on their resume, and Christy's a good person to take out. If you can sit there at the end and say, I took out Christy fucking Bennett, then yeah, that looks really good for you at Final Tribal.
No, but no offense to everyone that's on the edge of extinction, and 2 of which are sitting in the backstage right now listening to me, but all the big players are still there, and all the lesser players are on the edge of extinction.
I want to say that TK. I think he thinks himself.
Yeah, I thought TK was your doppelganger.
Okay, fine. TK is...
He's actually Sam Green's doppelganger, but yeah.
And look, at this point, I mean, can we just assume that Merlene comes back, because she is a challenge beast.
Yeah.
My notes for the challenge for her here say she's a boss.
You're assuming it's a decent challenge.
Yeah.
Not like a child's puzzle.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I think she can do it.
Yeah. I'm a really big fan of Merlene. Like, I think I've enjoyed how aggressively she's been playing. You can tell she's a really big fan, and she really wants to be an active player, and kind of playing against the archetype that, not me, but some people like CK or Ethan might label with a certain age bracket. But she's playing really well. You can tell that she's always thinking ahead. She's the one going to Christy and saying, Jazz and I were thinking of doing something next vote. And she throws out that Ethan has safety without power to pull her in. I mean, I did wonder if it was a bit too late in the game to be throwing this, but she did say that she wanted to make it last vote, and Jazz was the one who was a bit unsure. She didn't want to make the flip alone. So I kind of wonder, like, do you think that was a good move for Merlene in terms of saying that, like just to throw Jazz under the bus and say, I'm the one who really wanted to work with you? Or do you think that makes Christy a bit sus on them, thinking, oh, maybe Jazz isn't really with us?
I think it's definitely a good move not to flip until Jazz is ready. Flipping on your own, that's just going to piss Jazz off. It's going to cause Jazz to go to whoever's left of the boys. So I think that's definitely the right move not to flip. Whether or not she should have said it, she didn't say it. It didn't come across to me like she was throwing her under the bus. It sounded more to me like she was like, "Look, she's my closest ally. We're ready. We didn't think it was the right time last time."
Yeah.
So I really like what she was saying. I thought it was a good move. What do you think, CK?
I think it makes sense. That sort of move to bring her in there. I thought maybe we could turn to now the Reds, who are having a discussion about where they're sitting before we go to the EOE and then to the challenge.
Yeah.
Yep.
I find what's really interesting about the Reds, and I think this is what you get from being one of these shorter games, is I do genuinely believe that the red-blue divide in the new blue has somewhat faded away, because playing a game which we all have, where you sort of have a whole night before you really get into the real nitty-gritty of the fast tribals, you are more connected to that initial tribe because you spend a lot of actual downtime with them, which is sort of like the real game. Whereas here, where they all arrived, got thrown into some tribes, had 2 tribal councils, and then were switched, they've actually spent, I think, more time now, most likely. You don't know the breakdown, but more time, more likely, with the newer group. So I don't think Joseph is there, pining for Maddie P and Jazz. Like, he's making new connections. He's locking in with the new group. I don't think that he's desperate to get back to old Red. And I think we ultimately saw this play out in the vote. But they're very much trying to ingratiate themselves with the Red. And I think Joseph's identified that, Lee is in a lot of trouble. If they would put the twist to a side and we look at before we know what the twist is, Lee is in a lot of trouble because everyone knows about one of Shane's advantages, potentially 2. Danny's sure he only has absolute 1.
Danny's adamant.
Adamant that he only has 1. Maybe he has 2. He certainly doesn't have 3. That would be absurd. But they've got to flush that. And there's a variety of plans being discussed in that maybe we can get Shane to think it's this and not that and not use his advantage. I think all those plans are just like pipe dreams, I would have to say. And that if they went to tribal, I think Leah was just a normal tribal. I think Leah was probably done. Yeah. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think. I was saying I think you're right in that the swapped Reds don't necessarily see themselves as Reds, but I think the Blues still really see themselves as Blues. So like Danny, Michelle, Sam in particular are super tight. And I guess like they've got Luke sort of on the edge, but still allied with him. But like I don't think they see themselves, with Red. And I think you kind of see that when Sam kind of brings up, we're losing a lot of Blues like on the other tribe. Like, should we throw this next challenge? Because when we merge, we're going to be down the numbers. So they are thinking, like Sam and stuff are still thinking it's a OG Blue versus OG Red thing. And I think that's what makes this dynamic so compelling, because the fact that they know Shane has the idol means that they can't afford to throw the challenge, which would be the normal thing. We've got the numbers. We'll throw the challenge. We don't really care about Leah or Shane. Maybe we like Joseph. But the fact that Shane has an idol means that like it's risky because they can't split. And I think that's what makes it this dynamic so interesting.
Yeah, and in terms of the tribal lines being blurred after the swap, on the new Red tribe, they're going to tribal, and it is very us versus them. On the Blue tribe, they're not having to do that. So it is easier to form those bonds when you aren't going to tribal. And then nothing unites people better than a common enemy. They all want Shane out. So that is helping Leah and Joseph come into the old Blues. Now, I'm not saying that they're all the way there, but they're definitely a lot further on than the Blues were on the other tribe.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of positivity towards Joseph. His social game is very strong. The Blues there are a big fan of his. He's speaking up for Leah. And then I think there's been a bit of discussion about, like they can talk about that Ethan almost went at the second tribal. And that is true until it was changed up. Ethan has an advantage that everyone knows about. So they've probably been downplaying whatever relationships they have on Red with Ethan, and then they look like good numbers, which Blue now need, considering they've lost all these other old Blues with the other tribe losing so many challenges.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting come merge to see if the dominant alliance is one tribe or whether it's old tribal lines, new tribal lines, or a combination. I'm really excited to see what happens at merge. And I was hoping it was going to be next episode, but apparently not.
Well, I think that they'll probably have someone come back from the EO, like merge.
I'm thinking, they vote off one more person. That'll take them down to 9. And then EOE comes back. That takes them back to 10. And then
I was actually surprised that everyone was so assuming that it was so sure that it was merge, because you assume the merge would be at final 10, which means they have to get down to 9 first. Before we move on to the challenge, I was just going to ask, what did you think about Leah's move where she went to Luke and said, Shane's got the idol, but you can use me as the decoy bird to make Shane feel safe so he won't play the idol and so you can blindside him. Like, do you think that was a good move for Leah?
I think she knows that if the old Blues don't go along with the plan of trying to get Shane out, she's the target anyway. So she needs to try and do something. To suggest that, okay, tell him you're voting me, make him feel safe, but then we'll put the votes on him. It means that if Shane does play the idol, she goes, but she was going to go anyway.
Yeah.
I think where the issue is that Luke isn't 100% sure if she's telling the truth.
Joseph doesn't think it was a good move.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think it was a good move either. I just wanted to hear what your thoughts are.
I'm sort of thinking about it from her perspective. She's like, well, if we don't do something about Shane's idol, they're going to come for me. She can quite clearly see that it's going to be her. They don't want Joseph. They're talking to him a lot more. She's saying to Merlene at the challenges, it's me that's going to go. So she has to try something. Yeah. And as Danny's saying, it's an easy out.
She is an easy out. And I think you want to create, you could potentially do that. You could potentially create some, if people are telling Shane that they're going to vote for Leah, and then maybe he comes to Leah and says, hey, they're targeting you. So now it's circled back. And she could say, or could you play an idol on me, maybe? Maybe he starts thinking about playing two idols. Like, they don't know he's got two. I don't think
they don't know he's got two, so it's hard to factor that in.
Yeah.
I mean, my reasons why I think it's a bad move is, I guess, one, you still never want to be the decoy name if the real name has the idol. And I find it funny that she was really upset when Amanda made her the decoy name, but now she's we would shade her the idol before, but now she's just.
She didn't like Amanda telling her what to do, though. Yeah. I don't think it had much to do with her being the decoy name.
But for me, the other thing was they're down 4-3, but they do have an idol, or three, but Leah thinks there's only one. But I think keeping uncertainty about who the Reds will play the idol on also works best in their interest. And so, if you kind of think about Hayley's move when she was in the minority 5-4, but she had an idol, and she kind of played the 50-50 idol, saying, ooh, you don't know who I'm going to play this on. Are you going to risk it on me flipping a coin or whatever?
The difference there was two of them had immunity.
Yeah,
but there was only two options. Also, not everybody is Hayley Leak.
Yeah,
and Shane has watched no Survivor, and I can't imagine him going, yeah, I'm going to play Russian roulette with this thing. That's a great way of playing this move.
Yeah,
he's playing pretty well.
Yeah,
he is on an island by himself. He has no one else, but he's surviving because he's got all the advantages.
Yeah, but my main reason. But my main reason why I think it's bad is Luke has shown to already be sus on Leah. He's saying, oh, I watched her in challenges and she keeps going to her OG tribe and talking to Matt. And so he already suspects that she's more with her OG Reds than him. And then now this kind of feels a bit more extra schemy and less trustworthy. And then if I was Luke, I would rather ally with Shane, who kind of seems like a straight up loyal player, than Leah, who's throwing her allies under the bus and stuff. And I kind of wonder, it makes her look more frantic, more desperate. And we often see that people are like, oh, I don't like this energy.
It's not as if Shane is an ally of hers. Shane is someone that she has been against the whole time.
No,
so I don't think that necessarily makes her look...
No, didn't she
say that, or did she just want to get her way?
Yeah. She brought Shane in on the flip, on the flip to get out Amanda.
It was her, him, and Joseph. Yeah.
But, I think she's just... I get what you're saying, and I think Luke would rather keep Shane. I just don't think that they're going to... Look, Luke was saying he was actually investing time in Shane. I think tough enough to crack. You get that. His social game isn't super strong. He's just off on his own island, as Jules said. It'd be hard to feel good about it because he's giving you... I think that's the crux of it.
I used to feel Shane would be more predictable, whereas Leah, you're like, what is she going to do next kind of thing.
Except
she's a very unpredictable player.
She is, but they think Shane's savvy enough to be fake finding idols. That's what their perception of Shane is. Whether that's true or not, that's their perception. That's how crafty he is.
Yeah. They have too much time in their hands to think, oh, maybe Shane's thinking 5D level.
Yeah.
They don't have that much time on their hands, though. So.
He's got and they're going to frame Shane with Survivor plays, things they've seen, things people have done in the show, and archetypes and that. Well, he has no idea about any of these things. He's just feeling it out. He's just gone on pure gut instinct. He has no frame of reference of what he should do or shouldn't do, of what's a good move and what's a bad move. And while that could be perfectly fine in a scenario where he didn't have advantages, he has all the challenges of having all the advantages and having to know how best to play it, which is really fascinating to watch. I actually really like it because a super fan with all these advantages would be like trying to meta the whole thing, and I'm enjoying this whole organic, just how he's playing, having 3 advantages.
I love watching Shane.
I love that, like, they've got the huge text on the bottom of the screen. So it's like the whole screen is Shane, 2 idols, legacy advantage. Like, you can't even see his face. It's just all his advantages.
Yeah, that's because the text is too big, but that's a production decision.
Oh, look, there's lots of production we'll to talk about, but we'll get
Sam
there.
said they're both so sketchy to me, wild cards for sure. And then Sam agrees with Luke, and then Danny agrees with Sam. Like, they're still tight. These 4 blues, they're just they're tight in the chat. So we go to the edge of extinction. JT still, he's not salty about being voted out.
Not salty.
He got a chance to rekindle his budding romance with Lizzie.
I love them together. They're so fun. And don't you reckon they're having more fun on the edge than the actual game?
Well, as Lizzie said, they're able to talk without any time pressure. They don't have to be like, oh, quickly, we've got to go to a challenge. They're shooting the shit the whole time.
Come on, that's the sort of thing you say to each other to make you feel good. No one's happier they're on the fucking edge.
No, but dude, Leah's taking this confessional though.
Where would you happily be, John? Would you rather be in the fucking game or on the edge?
But they seem to be having a blast.
I wouldn't be. You should have seen me when I got voted out of Drunkvivor.
Compare my God.
It was a mess.
Compare how happy
Can we
they
not
are.
talk about Drunkvivor, please?
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Can you say, compare how happy Leah and JT are compared to how stressed Ethan and Danny are. And I quoted them because it was so funny. And Ethan's like, I'm sick of this shit. It's fucking shit. I don't have enough time to think, let alone talk to people. And then he goes, if there's some bullshit double elimination, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, he manifested the double elimination.
This is Ethan's just life. He just makes calls. Like he did this on Melbourne. You know, he said on the Melbourne podcast a few weeks back that Dale would get 0 votes for the rest of the game, including at Final Tribal Council, which was a hell of a call to make it like Final 9 or whatever he made it, right? And then he's manifesting if this is going to be a double tribal. Like he's just on the money with all of these calls. I think it's the fact that he ingested like 50 seasons of Survivor in 7 weeks that it's all just like, it's been fed into, it's like he's an AI. The Survivor was fed into his AI brain, and it's now just generating ideas, Survivor ideas.
A Survivor chat GPT playing.
Yeah.
And Danny, when Sam was like, "Should we throw a challenge?" She's like, "It makes me sick. I don't want to." And so I'm loving it.
That's Danny though. She doesn't give anything less than 100% in anything.
Yeah.
So we got TK here. He's called it the Fridge Alliance. It's not an alliance. Only one of you's coming back. There's no fucking alliance.
Why is it the Fridge Alliance?
Because there's a fridge on AOE.
On the edge. The fridge.
Yeah. They found it. It's like a thrown out
like a bunch of episodes. It's like a broken.
They looked under it today, looking for an idol or something.
Yeah, for some reason they all rushed to it, thinking that it was going to be a hidden idol or another advantage or something. I don't know, but it's not an alliance. One of you is coming back. That's it.
They don't know. This could be like Drunkvivor, where everybody comes back.
I thought we weren't talking about Drunkvivor.
I was using it as an analogy.
Yeah, come on, guys.
It's a one-day game. You have every
I'm going to do the Annabelle and keep you guys on target.
Every person you eliminate needs to then get eliminated again. You can't bring too many people back in a one-day game. This is what I'm thinking.
I'm amazed they did Edge of Extinction in a one-day game. Like that's.
I think maybe the reason is like if you get voted out at like 8 a.m. in the morning, it kind of sucks, right? Like how filthy would JT be without Edge of Extinction?
I agree. It's the right thing to have, and we've seen people get voted out first, and they're always incredibly salty, like incredible, and it gives them something. They're still on camera. They're still a character. It's more fun. So we talked about them, and then we get to the challenge. And
Well,
the
Lizzie
big
wanted to
twist-
know about the disadvantage, and then she was explaining to Amanda what the challenge was and how the gross food included a chicken's foot, and then she was like, "Yeah, it was fine."
I like how it was the chicken foot was the one she was like, I'm not saying there's anything gross about the chicken foot, but of them all, it was probably the most like confronting because the other things were just chicken. And,
The other things are just regular food people eat all the time.
So
Unless you're Eli.
Yeah, of course. So Eli lives off plain spaghetti and bananas. So
he's a steak and a parma kind of guy, I think, and that's it.
So they have done they talked about the disadvantage, and they're like, "Why did you give it to us?" And she said, "Because there were more reds on that tribe, and she wanted revenge on red," which makes no sense because the blues were the ones getting voted off that tribe. So I don't think Amanda was.
She had about 10 seconds to make that decision, and went, "Oh yeah, I'll disadvantage the red tribe." Like, no.
Yeah, wasn't thinking that one through.
No.
So we get to the challenge. They announce it's going to be a double. They say a double tribal there, or do they just sort of announce there's going to be both are going to tribal? Both are going to tribal, not the combined thing. And this is probably, I would say, one of the best challenges they've had all season so far. It's pretty standard, but it was good endurance. It was tough, and it played out really well in a television sense. It went out a long time for both tribes. And showed some really impressive efforts from a few people. Ethan was really, really impressive. Malene was. I expected her to be. Shane, I expected to be strong, and Luke. But also Joseph was really, really impressive.
Joseph did really well.
So they had to hold a 10-kilo bag of sand. Can I just ask, sorry, how much did you guys have to hold over your head in Melbourne?
I think it was
5 liters, I guess. So 5 kilos. But I
guess, it made you guys look kind of pathetic, really.
But I think
I was terrified. I was going to spill it on myself at like sub-0 degree temperature at 3 a.m.
But would you have died if you had 10 kilos of sand over your head and dropped that on your head? That would hurt a lot more.
I reckon I would have been.
But it was giant puppies. You would have hurt the puppies.
I think I would have done better with a bag of sand. Just saying.
Do you think, Lo? And I think this is my issue with these challenges, not just Sydney, but in Melbourne too, when they have a 10-kilo bag for every single person. Because do you think
I said that on the Melbourne pod that it needs to be a percentage of your body weight.
Because otherwise, it systematically disadvantages smaller people. Because you had all these women going like, "I knew I had no chance," or like whatever. But like,
look at Leah. There's nothing of her. She's probably about 4 feet.
She weighs 10 kilos. So like, because in Survivor they like make it proportional to your weight, so they're kind of testing your strength to like size ratio.
You then have to. You're right. That would be fairer. You then need to go around asking a bunch of people their weight.
You can just wait. Look. But
which I did
why
do
is it so bad? Because in the actual Survivor, not only do they weigh you before and after, but they film that and show that on TV and to the whole of Australia. So if we're okay going to Survivor,
you were the person at Melbourne 4 that had to go ask everyone their weight, and I can tell you, people were a little bit uncomfortable with it.
But you can just go to the nearest like 10Ks or whatever, because you make it like lift 1K per 10K you weigh or something. I don't know.
But you didn't tell anyone what the weight was for. I thought you were gonna like suspend us or something, and they needed to know for like physics or strength. And so I was honest. If I'd known what it was, I would have told you much lighter.
So you would have cheated. Got it. And that's allowable too. Then you got someone who's got to filter out the sand and weigh it all to make sure it's the right.
I don't think they did that. I think they.
If you want to do it fairer, and
they bought 10-kilo bags, put them in pillowcases. They clearly didn't test this first because everyone was like losing it from the pillowcase.
Yeah, they didn't need a pillowcase.
No. We also go back to the immunity necklace. They had a replica from Survivor Caramoan. If you're going to pick a season of Survivor to have their necklace, which I love that idea, why would you pick Caramoan? Pick a better season.
I haven't seen
the Micronesia one.
What is Caramoan for the viewers and me?
That's the second fans versus favorites where Cochrane won.
But I do love how it's like, hey, so we have 2 prizes. So we have like the replica of like Survivor Caramoan necklace. And then here you go, here's little Freddie. Like you can have his booby prize.
Freddie sucks. It's a shitty.
Hey, look, he represents immunity. That's all that matters.
I
want to say the way to make it fair, before we go off the chart, the way to make it fair is to have an immunity for a man and immunity for a woman.
Yeah.
That's how you make it fair.
I think the reason why, though, that they wanted to make it one per tribe was because of the way the twist worked.
Because they hadn't announced the twist. And I felt like they didn't want to do that, but, that would have been the way to do it fairly.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. Whatever. It's cool. I'm down with it.
Merlene says she had Ethan regardless until her bag fell apart. I believe it.
I believe
Ethan
that.
was
She
struggling.
She
was
looked
standing
so
there,
comfortable.
straight arm,
She
no
was like Statue
issue.
of Liberty, ready.
She was looking like a boss.
Yeah.
Sam, is he saying he doesn't like me knocking Freddie, or he doesn't like Freddie? What do you reckon?
I don't know. He's upstairs in my house right now. I can ask him.
Yeah. He's there, I think.
Ethan reckons he was going to win. Sure you were, mate.
You're there for the big birthday bash, for which I wasn't invited. I'm very sad about it. Very sad. If you're listening, Matthew P.
Just because I feel like there might be a lot of Ethan bashing this podcast, I just want to say that, I was impressed with Ethan, how much Ethan was fighting.
Ethan just yelled downstairs, nobody likes Freddie, just in case anyone
no one likes Freddie. Yeah, it sucks. Thumbs up.
I actually quite liked that Ethan and Matt blindfolded themselves, because I think like aside from the pain, a lot of these challenges about concentration and not letting things slip and stuff. And I think,
thought it was more about the sun being in their eyes, and they were just shading it.
Yeah, because that's why Christy turned around.
Christy faced the other way, like Sam had his
okay. I thought they were like, when you close your eyes, you're like reducing the sensory stimulation. You can focus just on
I mean, maybe they were doing that, but I just thought it was a sun thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was something, but I think there is an advantage in what John's saying in something like that. If that can help you take you out of the situation.
Yeah.
So
big win for Ethan.
Well, I have the order of people dropping out. So we had Danny dropped out first, and it must have been warm in the sun because Danny was like sun's out, guns out.
Ethan and Joseph were in t-shirts. They keep saying it's 2 degrees. Oh, I don't know.
Apparently not. So Danny dropped out first, and then immediately Leah dropped straight after her and beeline to Danny to talk.
She said in post.
She said
post confessional she wanted to go and strategize with her. So she did. She's obviously like, I can't win this. I'm going to go chat to people.
And I agree. If you think you can't win, you might as well drop out early. You don't want to target yourself as a threat.
Like
Merlene,
I guess, yeah. Well, I mean,
so then
Merlene
Matt dropped out. Matt walked back to the red mat, and Danny was like, "Come over here and talk to us." So it's a bit of strategizing going on.
Yeah.
Then Michelle, Sam, Jazz, Christy, and they moved to one arm. And Luke's bag was falling apart. Ethan was struggling. Merlene is a boss. It's all over my notes. Then Shane dropped, and then Merlene and Joseph dropped almost at the same time. Ethan and Luke win.
There's an interesting comment here from Joseph saying that he and Luke lasted a lot longer than it seemed after Ethan dropped, and he was trying to appeal to Luke to give him the victory. Luke, you're already a challenge threat. You don't want to look like a bigger one. Let me have it. That's what Joseph's saying to Luke, and Luke was having none of it because
it's too late. Right? It's like the Max and Brady thing, where Max is like, "I'm gonna come second, and because I come second, no one's gonna think I'm a."
If you're lasting that long, you're both a challenge threat.
I think
now you're the challenge threat that's not immune.
Joseph winning or even doing that well is actually bad for him because his social game is so strong. Yeah. He's got the strategy, and now everyone's looking at him like, but he's also really good at that challenge. Like he almost beat Luke. Everyone expects Luke to do well, right? Yeah. And that's sort of Luke's thing, being good at challenges. But he's not really shown a lot of strong strategy. Doesn't say it's not there. He just hasn't shown it yet. And his social is good, but not amazing. So now Joseph looks incredibly threatening. Like he looks like a triple threat.
Yeah.
And as Danny's saying, it was smart for Luke to win because they would have come for him without the necklace. And I 100% agree. He was the only other name I really heard the new Reds talking about. Like they were genuinely considering, but he was immune. So
no. Well, Luke was a blue though, right? So do you think that Danny, Michelle, Sam turn on Luke?
No, the new Reds. Sorry,
the other Reds would have voted for Luke instead of Shane.
Oh, right.
Red tribe.
Yeah.
So when they were talking about who they were going to vote for, they were saying we want a blue, and Christy Jedi mind tricked them into voting for Shane. That's the only way I can explain it.
Because but like if they had said Luke, Christy probably been like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
whereas like she didn't want it to be Danny. She didn't want it to be Michelle. She didn't want it to be Sam. But if they were like Luke, she's probably like, yeah, All right, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we'll get to the vote, but
We'll get there.
good
Let's say,
job,
we have the
Luke.
twist.
Good job, Luke. You needed it. You know,
Yeah.
you want it.
And then we get to the twist, which, you know, first time in an LRG. Similar things have been done on one-day trials. The infamous double earn has taken this to a new level. This is a simpler format, which I think makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I think it really worked.
Everyone's there. Everyone votes. Top 2 goes. I think it really worked. I think it was fantastic time to have it in the game. John disagrees.
John doesn't like it.
You don't like it? Too
No,
much.
I have a
magic?
lot of opinions about this twist. I mean, I think so I have a few problems with this twist. One, it's unfair, and I'll go into it's unfair. But two, I think it makes bad TV because, and wait for this, I actually think we were set up for 2 really interesting tribals, all right? So on the post-swap red, we're like, you know, before the thing, Ethan's going around going, no, we're sticking together, but that Christy's playing off each of the couples. And I actually think it would have been really compelling. Like, I really wanted to see what happens. Do the red stick together? Which pair does Christy? Yeah, I think so. I think Christy picks a pair too, but we're not even sure which pair she picks. I've been feeling that the whole time because we keep seeing her every episode after episode talking with Ethan and Matt, but then she's like, I don't trust them. So, you know, like, it would have been really interesting to see. And then on the other tribe, it would have been interesting to see how they played around, like, the idol.
Piling on Leah. They're just piling on.
No, but like, but does Shane play an idol Leah? Like, I mean, I know we've said Shane's, you know, not strategic, but like, you know, if he was like, he technically has implicit, you know, immunity because he's got the known idol, right? So he could do like a Parvati play where it's like, they're definitely not voting me because I got the idol and they can't split. I'm going to play one idol for Leah, one idol for Joseph.
He's not doing that. He's not playing an idol for anybody other than himself.
No, I'm just saying that like it just takes a lot of, like, you know, intrigue out of it. And I don't know. I have confidence. I really like this cast. You know, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think, you know,
it is a good cast. But I think you are postulating the best possible outcome of tribals we could have got from these 2. And I feel like what we got was actually more interesting because the way
this twist works, this twist rewarded good gameplay. It was only the better players that were going to get through this.
No, I mean, the person who played amazingly, we'll get to that, won out. But I think this twist actually really stifles gameplay because if everyone plays logically, and we'll get to the people who don't play logically, like, there is no way you can like do about it because having the top 2 vote getters in a 2-faction game, this means each faction just goes for the other.
There isn't 2 factions. There wasn't necessarily 2 factions.
And that's why you need to do it after a swap as well, so that there's essentially 4 factions.
And it's also revealed
blue, red, blue.
It's also revealed that Joseph and Leah have, in a way, flipped to the blue. So the Reds now have that information. Now, they might say, look, we were just trying to fit in, whatever, but there is less of a red and blue thing now because of this vote. Even though... And
it was actually...
5-5, which is
amazing. I think that's only because they fucked up. Like, we'll get to that. But say, like, if say, like, you know, Danny, Michelle, Sam, and Luke, right? They're a voting block of 4. The way the numbers are, whoever they want gone goes, like, unless the other person has an idol, because 2 people go. It's not just 1. It's not about having the numbers. It's about because when you have
that's going to be the same at a normal tribal.
Because in the normal tribal only 1 goes. So, like, can you imagine, right? If like George like hustles the numbers to get a majority, get David Zachariah out, but they're like, no, the top 2 people go, and so like Sam Webb can just like vote out George even though he's not got the numbers. Like,
that's a different scenario though. That's in an individual game when it's still tribe on tribe.
Yeah.
And
it's tribe on tribe.
It's tribe on tribe. I think it's completely different. I think you definitely can't do this after the merge. This is definitely a pre-merge.
No, but I just feel you can cherry pick who you want. As long as you have like about 4, right? You have about a third of the group. You can just cherry pick who you want because you will always guarantee.
Sam should have gone, and they didn't because people were playing this
misplayed.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying logically, the twist actually, like, if people just play like normally, like if people play normally, like this tribe gets to vote out Merlene, the other tribe gets to vote out Sam, And like idols aside, there's nothing you can do about it. Like Sam could have just been like, "Oops, they put 4 votes on me."
But
What can I
that
do?
isn't what happened because
I don't
they've
know,
been
but I'm saying because people misplay. But that doesn't mean the twist is good. The twist is
Merlene and Jazz misplayed, but other than them, who do you think misplayed?
Ethan.
no. Ethan misplayed.
Ethan
Merlene and Jazz had great insight. It's just like couldn't get.
Basically,
We'll get to that. I think we'll jump into this bit. Let's go through the scramble.
But yeah, for me, the 4 reds who were still on red all played this terribly.
Yes,
I disagree. I think Ethan played it perfectly.
We'll get that.
We'll get there.
Let's go through the episode.
Let's talk about it in the context. We can bring the strat chat into the tribal and vice versa because it's all one thing really. And I want to talk about what Ethan did, which I think is fantastic gameplay.
No, I think this is the worst move of the game. And
I disagree absolutely. I disagree.
Okay. Yeah, you go first, okay, and then Jules and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Everyone knows that he has safety without power. He needs to get rid of it at some point. He's decided this is the time to move it because he can save the only person he really trusts, Matty P. Matty P could be in some trouble without this advantage. And it's a good time for him to get rid of his advantage. Equally, first vote at merge could be a good time, but equally, first vote at merge could be a time where his vote is necessary. On this one...
I love Joseph's little Simpsons reference. The worst move of the game so far.
On this vote, Ethan's vote wasn't needed. So he's not...
We're not disagreeing. Jules and I aren't disagreeing about the safety without power. So
yeah, I think if you've got a known advantage, get rid of it. That's fine.
Before I lash into Ethan, I'm going to say I was really impressed with pre-challenge or how he was trying to like keep Merlene and Jazz, but also working with Christy. Great move, great hustle in the challenge. You did well. You got the necklace that makes you look sexy as fuck. Good on you.
Sexy as fuck, yes.
Yeah. And then you play the safety without power on Matt, which 100% I agree because there's only 3 like the Danny crew are definitely voting out not Christy, so they're voting out Matt, Merlene, or Jazz. So there's a 1 in 3 chance Matt Pitcher's going home. So you got to save your ally and take the threat of safety without power. That's all good things, Ethan. But then the rest of the episode...
Ethan, we do love you.
Yeah,
I know you're upstairs in my house right now. We do love you.
So you're assuming that he wants Merlene and Jazz still in the game. They don't fucking trust him, and maybe he's actually got a read on that, right? They think he's shifty as fuck. They need to go. They're going to be after him.
Okay.
I'm still defending Ethan. Then you can have your moment, right? They need it to go. So... how anyone on that tribe is thinking about voting for Shane if they're worried about blowback is insane. Now, Ethan doesn't care about...
Christy told them it would be fine. Christy played this as well as anybody could have played this.
Yeah. So...
I'm not denying Christy's play, but I'm saying from Ethan's point of view, he's in a great spot now come next vote because he and Matt will just vote out Christy if they lose. They just will.
Oh,
but it doesn't set him up for the game. Hey, so this is why
he's going to be in the bad spot.
No, I disagree because you've got these 2 people now who flipped on red, betrayed red, whatever. They're not with red. They got their own little thing going. It's just the 2 of them. I feel my final 6 is the final 6. I'll lock it in. I've nailed it. I've nailed the final 6.
Okay, but the problem with what Ethan did at Tribal Council is publicly announced Shane's idol, and like he basically baited the person he had voted for into playing an idol. Now, I think Shane probably was going to play the idol regardless, but if he was on the fence, Ethan basically convinced him to do it. But
I'm saying he did it on purpose.
No,
he did not.
So and we go back a bit, right? Even the very first thing after the challenge, Ethan turns to the group and goes, "We could vote out Shane, and if he doesn't play what he's got, he's going." And I'm just like, wait. So let's just take a step back and go, why? I think I've got like 6 dot points why it's a horrible move. So first rule of Survivor: you never pile the votes on the person who has an idol, because what happens if they play it? Now you have 0 control, and you give them all the control on who they want gone. If you can split the numbers, sure, put the votes in them. If you can't split the numbers, you make them think they need to play the idol, flush the idol, but you put your votes on someone else because now you're just wasting your votes. You have no
and they
agency
didn't
in
even
this show.
consider the fact that the new blue tribe would be splitting. They were like, all of their 7 votes are going to be on one person.
Which
so even if Shane
sense.
plays his idol, we'll vote again.
Yeah.
No. It meant that the new blue tribe got the 2 people that they wanted. So
I stand by. You're right.
So,
it's an absurd move. And Ethan doesn't give a shit because he's immune and he's saving Matty P. So he doesn't give a fuck which one of the other 2 they vote out. He is right on board with the absurdity of voting Shane. He's aware that Shane is going to play his advantage. Everyone in the world knows Shane is going to play his advantage.
No, but we know, right? We know it's coming close to the merge. They think it's the merge the next round even. And like you need the numbers in the merge. Even if they're not that tight with Merlin and Jazz, they are numbers. They have 0 relationship with Sam, with Michelle, with Danny, right? Why are they targeting an OG Red when they're actually up 7-5 in the numbers, right? So they already know the other tribe isn't voting Christy. They're already losing one of their numbers. It could be Merlin or Jazz. So why would you just want to lose the other and make it 5-5 when you could just take out Sam, right? And also, who cares if Shane has an idol? Why are you so concerned about flushing an idol? That's not on your tribe. Is Shane going to use that idol to get you out? No. If he uses an idol, he's probably taking out a blue person or Leah. But, like it doesn't, like, why are you investing so much energy to flush this idol that doesn't bother you? Like
Merlin and Jazz do not trust Ethan. And they're not your numbers when you've got like this level of mistrust. This is exactly what happened to me in playing with fire. I went in with numbers, but everyone didn't trust me for shit. And they threw me under the bus as soon as they could, even though you, John, had no numbers and were able to, as a small group, to get a few other people and build your way to the end. That is a better game than what I was doing. Ethan is playing a John-like quality game.
No.
I just feel, you touched on before, I feel Ethan got a case of bad move artists, which is what happens when you win the necklace and you feel emboldened to assert yourself, knowing that you can't bounce back on you on this round, and you go, I'm going to like do this big thing I've been wanting to do. Like I literally wrote, because I was trying to come up with all the reasons why it could be good for Ethan, and I couldn't. So I just wrote, does Ethan have penis/idol envy? Because like otherwise, like what other logical explanation?
Trust the psychiatrist to compare an idol with a penis.
I also told Annabelle I wanted to channel the Annabelle energy, and I feel like she would have come to the same conclusion that Ethan was just jealous. Shane had something that and he didn't want Shane to have something if he was going to burn his AP without power.
Yeah, no, the person that we need to talk about here is Christy, because they all come together and they say, Christy, who of the original Blues would you want to take out? She acted like she didn't know any of their names. She's like, oh, I can't even remember. Like, can someone give me a photo? And then when they talked about Danny and Michelle, they said, oh, well, they're weak in challenges because they dropped out early.
Yeah.
How very dare you call Danny
Danny's
weak?
not strategic?
She said she played down. Her 2 closest allies, Danny and Michelle. Yeah. She is there going, oh yeah, look, they're just floating through the game. They're not doing anything. Let's not worry about them. And then the Reds themselves said that they didn't want Sam out. They're like, oh, I really like him. I feel like he could blindside me and I wouldn't care. So Christy just basically said, there's no one else over there that's worth voting for. Maybe Luke, but he's immune. So either we take out Shane or maybe that short girl. What was her name again? Like, Christy knows the name of every single person there. She probably knows their star sign. She probably knows the name of their first pet. She can probably hack into their bank account with the amount of information she knows, because she is such a good player, but she plays it down.
100%. Like, I'm a filthy casual who's actually never seen Christy's season. So this is my first time getting to watch Christy. And like, I'm
watch your final tribal. That's all you need.
Oh yeah, I've seen a little bit of her immunity challenge and the final tribal, but I haven't seen the rest of the season.
It's boring.
That's why I got told. But anyway, like getting to watch her this season, I can say like I am a massive Christy stan, because like she just played it so masterfully that she is literally playing like 10D chess while they're playing checkers, because like. She shouldn't have this level of power. She is the bottom on her first swap challenge, but she is just running rings about him. And as you said, like, it's just the way like she says it. She's just like, oh, neither the 2 girls are good at challenges. Oh, I don't think she's playing that hard. Oh yeah, they're just really chill. And like, And when they think, oh, maybe we should get rid of Shane, and she just like, but like without pushing it, she knows just the amount of level to push it. She's like, oh yeah, you guys aren't going to be in trouble if you go for Shane. You'll be sweet. She goes, it literally will not impact you, but it's something you can say at the end. And it's like lies, and they ate that up like Krishna eats Applebee's. Like, gosh, like she is so fucking good. Like it's just like they don't even question. Like, could Christy be feeding us lies? You know, like, does she? No, she trusts us 100%. She'd only tell us.
She's with us at the merge. She's not going back to blue.
No.
The absurdity of it is obviously that, look, Shane, any right-minded Survivor player, anyone, in a weird-ass tribal like that, where two people are going home, where you can go home with a minority vote, and you have an advantage that could save you, you're going to play it. And they all know Shane has something. So the fact that she convinced them to not worry about that somehow, and I guess she thought, as they say, there was going to be, when I say the thing, they thought the Reds would vote with them. If that was the case, what are we thinking? It's like an 8-4, and then maybe they thought the four Blues would vote for
But why do they think the Reds are voting them? As Jules says, literally a challenge. Like Ethan is throwing Shane under the bus. Like this is like not even like normal. This is like a fucking like spaceship that he's been crushed under. They're so obvious, and they look. You can see them. They look at each other, going like, "Oh, like we're really not with them." Like if there was any doubt whether like OG Red would become like a faction in the merge, like Ethan just destroy that, and you can see that like they literally just like they were the ones that voted Jazz out because they're like, yeah, we're not with them.
Yeah. I actually ranked everybody left in the game in order of how well they played this round. Let me know if you guys agree with me. Number 1 is obviously Christy.
Yeah.
Hands down. Number 2, I've actually got Luke. Luke was the first person we saw suggest the split vote.
Yeah.
From what I saw, it was his idea. So then the next after that, I've got Equal, Danny, Michelle, Sam. They played this really well.
And I think part of that is them making the Reds feel like they're with a United 7. Like Shane thinks they're a 7.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't, because Shane voted for Christy for some reason.
Yeah. Hang on, I'll get to
You're
Shane.
confused,
I'll get to Shane. Next, I've got Leah and Joseph. I think they didn't want to vote out Jazz, but they knew that it was the smartest move for them. They needed to go back with this group afterwards. They needed to be able to say, we voted how you said we did. Next, I've got Shane. Look, he played the idol, well done, but he was the one vote for Christy. So, you need to vote with your group. Next, I've got Jazz and Merlene, then Matt, then Ethan.
Ethan below there. He's still in the fucking game.
Yes, but no, Jules is 100% correct, and this is why she was the better Drunkvivor player. But like Merlene,
I just had a boo yelled at me from upstairs.
I feel so bad for Merlene, right? Because the whole episode, Merlene has the right reads. She goes, She is saying we need to vote out an original blue. She goes, why don't we just pick Michelle? Why is no one listening to Mer Queen? She's the only one on this tribe.
Merlene, when you come on, you need to change your name to Mer Queen.
Justice for Mer Queen, because
I get your point. Maybe she has a better plan, but her plan didn't come off.
Because and the thing is, like,
because people didn't listen to her. People were dumb.
She had to
they
go
were drinking
along
the Christy Kool-Aid.
Yeah, she had to go with this dumb as fuck Shane plan because like they needed Ethan because Ethan's sending Matt away, so they already lost a vote, and Ethan's refusing to vote anyone but Shane. So Merlene and Jazz, who want to vote out of blue, can't do anything with their 2 fucking votes, right? And like
let's bring in the guests, right? They can.
Yeah,
I'm sure they've got a lot to say about it. Now bring them in together because Jazz and McQueen have been together in this game from day one, linked together, voted the same all the time, on the same tribe the whole time, and have now been booted at exactly the same time. So they are 2 peas in a pod. We're going to bring them in together and we'll get their takes. Let's bring in Jazz and McQueen.
Hey!
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks. Hi, Jazzy.
So at what point did it dawn on you that voting for Shane was an incredible mistake?
I don't even know how we got there. We were kind of pushed into that a little bit by Christy's Jedi magic, right? Because she was only going to vote with us if we didn't vote for one of the OG Blues, I didn't want to have Shane or Leah out. So it really only, I didn't want to have Joseph or Leah out. So it really only left Shane. And we kind of assumed that Shane didn't know enough about the game that maybe, and we only thought he had one advantage, that he might still sit on it until after merge. So it was just a risk that we kind of had to take. But yeah,
Until
on
Ethan
reflection,
opened his big mouth at Tribal.
Yeah.
oh, I know, he just buried us. Love you, Ethan, but yeah, seriously.
Because if he had said to Shane, "Oh, we're actually voting out a blue," would Shane have played the idol? Do you think?
Yeah, he had 2.
Yeah, I think so.
And
Knowing
legacy.
that he had 2
Yeah,
now,
he had so many that
we had no idea he had that second one. So we had no idea he had.
I want to backtrack slightly on there. You say Christy said, "I'm not voting for a blue," yet she's completely trying to say that she's with you guys and not with the blue. But I'm still not going to vote for a blue. But you didn't need a vote. Like the 4 of you is enough.
Even the 3 of you.
3 of you is enough.
Yeah, you guys should have said to her, "We will vote Shane," and then go and vote for not Danny, because don't vote out Danny.
Danny, Sam, Michelle.
True,
You know what I mean? Like,
true. But then we would have lost Christy, because Christy wouldn't have come back with us if we'd have gone against
Should have
that.
just voted for Christy, really.
But
That would have
you
been a
lost
smart move.
Christy because Christy's supposed to be with you and not the blue people. So what she care if you vote out a blue person?
She's that good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So
in hindsight, when I was watching it back, just watching how she was talking about Danny and Michelle, I was like, oh my God, she full freaking played us, and I didn't even notice while I was in the game.
Yeah,
It was crazy.
She was downplaying them so hard.
100%.
Besides that bit we saw, had she been doing a lot of work in, besides that little clip, in downplaying blue members? Or was that the first time she did
so
it?
much with me. We didn't have a strong connection as what probably Merlene had with her. And she's probably closer with the boys. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan, but I wasn't fangirling like the rest of the cast was. But
You weren't doing a Maddie P of
no.
Maddie P's mouth is just always like fixed in that position.
There's on the next
Pretty
time
much.
on, he's doing
Yeah,
like
he's like-
a double one for like, I think seeing that both of you are gone. It's like a double.
The double shot signature.
So you weren't fangirling over a Jazz, but you were a little bit Malene in the confessionals. Were you playing it cool, like with her a bit? Do you think you were playing it cool enough with her?
Oh, yeah, sure. And even right at the beginning of the day when we were chatting before the game actually started, we sort of just had a bit of a connection. Well, I thought we did, but she probably felt that with everybody, right? Because that's how good she is. And then we had we both had talked about trying to get Ethan out. And I don't know if you noticed during the challenge, we faced each other and we had a little bit of a chat. Yeah. And I said, because we knew that we needed Ethan not to win that immunity. Yeah. And as soon as I said, I've got this, she dropped. Yeah. So we'd sort of made a bit of a pact with that. She was like, I'm trusting you to do this so that we can get Ethan out. So that was definitely on the cards.
So Melanie, do you think if it was a normal, like double tribal, but like separate, do you think Christy would have gone with you and Jazz and voted out Ethan?
Yes. Yep. I do think
no,
that.
But then Ethan maybe he probably doesn't play safety without power because he's just abandoning Matt. So he probably lets it go. So you think Christy was with you guys and not with Ethan?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was with us. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. I get the impression, and I've been saying this all episode, that you guys didn't trust Ethan at all. Like you just
I disagree with that. I actually had an alliance first with Maddie. Maddie was the first person to come up to me and chat to me about an alliance, and then Ethan. Then Merlene and I got a connection, and we obviously definitely bonded. And so I still had trust with the boys, probably more so than what Merlene did, because I had an earlier relationship with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was sorry.
Yeah, you go, Merlene. How were you feeling about Ethan?
So saying I had a good connection with Maddie P to begin with as well. So it was sort of almost like it was like Amanda and like Jazz and myself and Maddie P, and then Ethan kind of connected himself to Maddie P. So so Ethan sort of came with Maddie P. So but he was just right from the beginning. Ethan was just so all over the place.
It was like the salad that comes with your parma. You don't really want it there, but it's all right.
Ethan said here, had he didn't have individual immunity, would have played my advantage. But would you have done that on a 5-person tribal where, potentially Christy is a swing vote between you and Matt and Malene and Jazz, and therefore abandoned Maddie P to death? You let us know.
I think it would depend actually on Christy, because I think Christy's good enough. She could have convinced Ethan that she was 100% with the boys, and then voted Ethan, and Ethan would.
And then voted at home she wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been completely her call.
Yeah. Actually, going back to that, Malene and Jazz, you said that at the start you were really tight with Amanda and Matt, and I saw that it seemed like that in the episode too. So, like, how did it happen that Amanda just got thrown aside?
That was really interesting. I was sitting right down the other end, and it just came past whisper, like basically Chinese whispers, vote for Amanda, and that's all it was, plain and simple.
And so you guys didn't know you were in a bit of an alliance with her. We're like, yeah, whatevs, cool.
That's not us.
Well, yeah, exactly. Even though you say we were in a tight alliance, like this was vote 2, so we'd probably known each other for the sum total of like an hour.
Yeah.
And it was such a confusing, I wasn't sure who was voting for who with the split. And so when I was presented with a plan that all 3 people to my left when I was sitting at Tribal were voting Amanda, and they said to vote Amanda, and then I was sitting next to Maddie P, and I thought Maddie P will go with me because we'd already talked about connecting and working together. So I sort of went, well, there's a majority. It's not me. I'm just going to go with it. So that's what happened. But yeah, it was Leah that turned it all around, apparently, with those 3 on the way to Tribal.
Yeah.
And then once they got to Tribal.
Malene's frozen. You jump in, Jazz.
Jazz, yeah, your turn.
Once they got to Tribal.
I don't know. I don't even know what happened.
All right, she's back.
I just heard someone else's name that wasn't mine and was sweet with it.
Yeah.
Pretty
now,
much.
do you guys? Obviously, you shouldn't have. The Shane vote out was a misplay. But did you, looking back, think that maybe you should have had a swipe at Ethan or Matt when Lizzie and Christy were there, for example? TK is probably the right play, regardless. There, but do you think you should have maybe made a move then, or do you think you're happy with the move you made?
I don't think it showed how close the 4 of us actually were. It wasn't like, even though we were 2 sets of 2s, we were actually quite a tight 4, and we did discuss everything together. So it was it wasn't really.
Well, is there a chance then that the 4 of you would have voted out Christy if you'd gone to a normal tribal?
I think that would be potentially on the cards.
Malene?
I think the boys would, definitely.
Yeah.
And it'd be me and Merlene battling it out whether to vote for Christy or Ethan.
Malene doesn't seem very confident that she would have voted out Christy at that point.
I was just I was a bit cognizant of the 4 of us. Like, I wanted to get to merge, but it was sort of like a bit boring for me to stay with the same 4 people, and I kind of was just wanting to spice it up a little bit,
Chaos.
which was why
You want the chaos.
Queen of chaos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? Like, this cast is amazing. Like, I think if you trust that the cast will cause the chaos itself, you don't have to add these twists to artificially create the chaos.
I did approach Jazz when we were voting out Liz, and I said, do we go with the girls here and vote Ethan out here? And it was Jazz that pulled me back into line and said, no, it's not the right time. But we'll do it. We'll do it next time. We'll do it next time. And of course, next time was this big train wreck of a tribal, and it never happened.
Now, Malene, I think and we brought this up on the original sort of cast assessment, and maybe episode 1, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you decided to lie about your job. Either you felt that being a successful business owner would be too confronting for the rest of the young people in the crowd. Is that right?
Well, I knew I'd be a little bit older than probably most of the cast. And so I just wanted to be something really relatable. And I wanted to be approachable. And I just wanted to have a bit of fun. Like, I wouldn't do that on a 39-day plus game for playing for $500,000. I wouldn't do that. But for a one-day game, when seriously, we all kind of went, oh, what do you do? What do you do? And then it was like game on. So no one really talked about what we did during the day very much at all.
I didn't actually know any of that until we had coffee about
months later.
So what did you thought? What were you telling people you were, Merlene?
A swim instructor.
So Jazz, you were just
and So we were sitting down having coffee. It was right in. Oh my God, you don't know yet. That's not what I do.
You're lying to me.
Merlene, do you think, because you were saying that you're like, oh, like I'm actually like a physical beast in this game, they're going to target me. Do you think now that you're like a professional swim instructor, do you reckon that adds to how like much of a physical challenge beast you'll be?
Oh, well, the problem was when we introduced ourselves, I said, oh, look, I'm just a swim instructor, but in my spare time, I run ultra marathons. And I think that was probably my downfall. I just could have left it.
Look, I'm guessing there wasn't going to be an ultra marathon in a one-day game. I think you were probably safe there.
True. But after that, they kind of went, oh, and then they started. Because, like, really, everyone's saying, oh, she's a beast. But I didn't win anything except for picking up lots of eggs at the beginning. So
I did wonder.
But I think, though, as you mentioned, you were older than the other people on the tribe. I think if you are someone who is in your mid-20s, then you want to hide your challenge ability. But if you, as you said, if you are coming in older than everyone else in the tribe, you might get targeted. So if you can say, I'm actually quite a strong player, then that sort of negates that.
And that was my thought process. But again, thanks, Sam.
It's like
it's just marathon. Like maybe just drop the ultra. Like you don't need to step it.
Well, you probably just said, "Oh yeah, I do like fun runs and stuff."
Yeah.
Ultra
but
marathon
again,
how far is an ultra marathon?
Is it like is it 70 or 100?
Well, the week before, I'd run 100-kilometer ultra marathon and I'd come second. So
in what sort of time?
I'd run it in 12 and a half hours.
That's insane.
I would probably take
around 100 kilometers.
I'd probably take about 2 weeks. I think would be my best time.
I'd probably die.
Like, let's say you do Ironman triathlons. Just say you do triathlons. You don't need to say you do the Ironman.
I know. But, you know.
I do CrossFit once a week, you know.
Look, I think some people shine really brightly and you just can't hide how much they sparkle.
Exactly, John. Yeah. Exactly, right?
and there's John, who also lied about his occupation.
Yeah.
This is a podcast full of people who lied about their jobs.
These LRGs, I'm quite new to the whole idea of this. So I've always thought about it as how would I play a 39-day game? And being an older contestant, I think I'd have to go in there and prove my physical prowess because traditionally older women get voted off because they're physically weaker. And so I was bringing that mindset into this one-day game because I hadn't had a lot of exposure to this sort of stuff. So again, probably not the best thing in a one-day game. But anyway, it was
I think that's smart.
I think it's good strategy. It's like knowing your archetype, right? It's like Janet when she's like, I have to be like the fire setter in like the cat mum because they're going to see me as an older lady, but I don't want to see that.
Did you come in with some strategies, some ways you were looking to play the game, or you just sort of like felt it as you went?
Was that to me?
Yes.
Yeah. You.
Well, it's weird actually because I always sort of see myself as being able to manipulate a little bit. I turned into some fully honest person that could not lie to anyone and tell everyone up front exactly what I was doing. It was terrible.
Had you had any experience, anything like this with an org, LRG, anything?
No, nothing. So I watched Survivor, I have since I was a kid, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah. There's a real difference to someone who's played even an org before. It makes a massive difference in how you approach the game. So hopefully you get a second chance to play again and you can learn from your mistakes.
Jazz for Edge of Extinction returning.
I remember going on Melbourne and I thought, I've been watching this since like I was in high school. I'm gonna be so good. I've got all the plays, and then you get there and you're like, I've got nothing. Like this is falling apart immediately. I'm doing everything that I told myself I shouldn't do, and I'm suddenly doing it all. What's going on?
Yeah, that was me. My first one-day trial game. I was like, I am the ultimate super fan. I'm a walking encyclopedia of Survivor. I know everything there is to know. Third boot.
Yeah. I think it's hard because like.
And
what was that?
I play football in my spare time, and when the soccer challenge came up, I was like, "Sweet, I've got this." 2 seconds later, I was on my ass. And
it was a weird game of soccer, Jack. Who
were you against again?
Sorry,
who were you against in the soccer challenge?
I was against Danny.
Oh yeah. So Jazz, I think I just want to have like a to fight you on one little thing. You said Danny was the weakest and we should vote her out. And I'm like,
dropped out first.
Winning these one-on-ones.
I had no idea about Danny because I'd had about a 2-minute conversation with her at the beginning of the game.
Gotta watch out for Danny.
And just like in regards to how we were working out who we were going to vote with and stuff, like seriously, because we'd gone tribal to tribal to tribal, our heads were just absolutely spinning, and it was hard enough for us to remember each other's names, let alone the names on the other tribe. And we just needed a break. Like the time pressure was so intense. So I'm not surprised that we made the stupid mistake of voting for Shane, because we were just, our brains were just mush by that stage.
Yeah, and like
really
the 3 of us have all played in a 3-day LRG, and even that feels like a tremendous time pressure. One day, I can't even imagine how you guys did that.
Oh, it was insane. It was just crazy. Yeah, it was
just put
really
Ethan's
hectic.
comment. Couldn't tell that Jules loves Danny. Oh, well, I do.
Yeah, and I think like especially for you, Jazz and Marlene, that you went to like every tribal except the first one, right?
The very first one, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have time really to like decompress a vote, right? It's just like challenge, like scramble, vote, repeat.
Yeah, there was no real social conversations. It was all going for next.
And that's what happened to John in Melbourne. If you watched it, he went through that very same experience, so he absolutely knows. And I can tell you, he's complained about it at length, how painful it was going back to back to back to back. So I've heard it. I hear you. I know what you're saying.
Yes, but he won.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is but I think our rounds are probably more spaced out because it was over a longer period. So I can't imagine how stressful. Like you're kind of just trying to survive, right? And so if you hear a name that's like not you, and like that works for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like sometimes like that just seems really enticing, right?
Yeah. And even some of the votes, like Lizzie voted for me a couple of times, and TK, like I copped a few votes, but I got out of those tribals and I didn't even have time to process who the hell had voted for me. I just had to let that go and go to get to the next thing. So,
but that's a good thing, because it's never really great to obsess about who voted for me, who put my name down. Like,
we love you,
always result. People don't like it. You just got to sort of like be chill, because you know what, you didn't get voted out. There wasn't a majority on you, but it's very hard.
Okay, just my name came up. It's fine.
Yeah.
Then inside, you're like,
is there anyone you would have
dares vote for me?
Yeah.
If you if the numbers worked out better, you guys merged, which you might still make when you come back. Is there anyone you thought, like looking on the other tribe, that you were like, I really want to work with them, and but they just happen to be on the other tribe?
I'd literally said 2 words. Like we had those few minutes before the game started when we were having breakfast, and you do like all the niceties, like, hi, my name's blah blah, and this is what I do, where I'm from, but there's no real depth to the conversation. So in hindsight, like really, I knew nothing about any of the blue team. So
yeah,
well,
same.
You guys are the sort of people that look at people and make a judgment.
I didn't get a good vibe from either Michelle or Danny, so I don't think I would have. I would have gone more for the boys, but then they were close to the boys, so yeah. So I don't know how that would have shaken up, but we seriously had 0 time with them, so it was hard to say.
How much was Shane of an enigma to play with?
I look after Shane's kids now. He's
Okay.
in my childcare centre.
Oh,
Said like 5
Wow.
words to him during the game, and have
Yeah.
had many conversations since then. In the game, you couldn't get anything out of him. Saying you're a
Oh.
chatterbox, by the way, now.
Yeah.
But in the game, oh my gosh, he was like talking to a brick wall essentially. So terrible.
so are his
Yeah.
kids watching then? And then, like, do they know that you tried to vote Shane
Yeah,
out?
his kids have seen me on there.
Did they mention that? Because he said he was showing the kids. Did they
Yeah.
mention
Why
that
do you
to
hate my dad?
He's all right now. And he trusts me now because I look after his kids.
So what you're saying is you need to play with him again.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
And then
he's
I'll
such
vote
an
him out,
idol flute. So he just finds them like
I know.
absolutely.
Right?
Does he
Unbelievable.
watch Survivor now?
Yes.
I have no
I know.
idea.
No idea.
I think
Bizarre.
so. I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Might have been a good move to watch some before you played, but that's.
Hey, no, it's working out for him. I
Maybe
stand
he
with
would
that.
have found the 3 idols if he had known, because like he was just looking for his drink bottle or something.
I
Yeah,
feel,
and
I feel that a super fan with 3 idols would be too tempted to want to do something like really big with it. He's just gonna play it for himself when he needs to and just keep rolling
Yeah.
through.
He's
which
going
is
to
the
get to
smart
merge,
thing.
and then he's going to have the legacy advantage at merge, and then he's got 2 idols to get through the. Oh no, he's only got 1 left. He's
One,
gonna get,
one more left. But
Yeah.
he'll be able to do the legacy and go, that's actually what I got at the start, and then I'm good now. I've got nothing, and everyone will be like, oh yeah, and then he'll go find the merge idol.
in the episode, this episode, when Blues were all standing around talking and strategizing, I was actually quite surprised that Shane had quite a bit to say about what they were going to do, and I was just like, oh, go you. Like, he was obviously learning on the run and picking it up really quickly. So I thought that was interesting.
So have you guys enjoyed watching it back? Have you had a good experience generally? Felt good about your edits? Had a good time? That's the next question. Have a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome. And not only that, you get to meet people you never would have met. And it is like some weird ass little Survivor family got our little chat going, and sometimes I really feel like parenting people, but I leave it be. But
you're absolutely right. It brings people from all walks of life, different parts of the country, different jobs, different ages, and just lets you really get to know people that are outside your bubble, which is really hard otherwise in life, but so important to get yourself in a position to understand different people's perspectives and their lived experiences. And where else are you going to do that in life? And it's always just so supportive and positive.
Yeah. And also, but just the like applying process and just looking at who you are and how you play. It's like holding a mirror up to yourself and like just assessing where you are in life and what your values are and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's really cool to do that.
Yes.
And I think like I guess we're all like older than the age that Ethan considers to be like not ancient, and I think at our age, like actually Merlin, you run ultra marathons, but sometimes like a lot of us, we don't do like new things that often, so it's I think it's like it's such a adventure to like put yourself like out of what you do day to day, like and test yourself, and because as you said, Jazz, like you thought like like maybe I could really lie, or maybe I'm gonna be honest. You never know until
I can lie. I can lie. Trust me. I can really play the game.
I believe it.
Parents come in to pick up their kids, just like, I don't know how he got hit on the head. That's what it was like with my childcare pickups. What's the sting? I don't know.
Concerning. Would you guys play again?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's been lots of fun, and this like the pulling apart of it afterwards has actually probably been for me even more fun, because it was just so intense on the day that you just like it was just intense, but then like being able to sit back and have a bit of perspective and then meet the people not under that time pressure, and it's just been really cool.
Well, thank you so much for both coming on here and chatting with us about your experience. You're both going to be on the edge of extinction. Maybe one of you makes it back. Obviously, we don't want to know that now, but if that's the case, then we get to re-interview you again down later in the season, that would be fantastic. My money would probably be on McQueen to win a challenge if it's in any way running or strength, because she's obviously a beast. No offense to you, Jazz, but I think we've seen what McQueen can do in action, so I'm hoping to see that. But I'm glad that you'll be on our screen some more through the Edge of Extinction, and then obviously into the jury phase if one of them
I get
doesn't.
grilled by JT as soon as I get up there. That was entertaining.
Oh, yes. Can't wait.
You weren't even on
And
the
he's
same
not
tribe as
salty at
JT.
all.
Not salty at all.
Not salty.
Jazz, is this the first conversation you're having with JT? Because you haven't actually interacted with him yet, right?
Look, in the chats I say small things, but I'm not really on there a lot. I just read and carry on with my day.
Oh no. Sorry, what I mean is when you met him on Extinction, was that your first meeting with JT?
I did have a chat. I was the first one to arrive in the morning because I live in the mountains, so it was easy for me to get there quick and early. And so I actually spoke to pretty much everyone as they turned up and had a little bit, and he was intense, but good guy.
Well, I look forward to him being intense with you on the Edge of Extinction. That's he's good TV there. He's giving us some real daily lives. So thank you very much for both coming on. Thank you for playing, and thank you for everyone on the chat for contributing live, and for those that will listen to this after wherever they listen to their podcast. We'll be back next Thursday, to discuss the next episode, and I can gush more about how good Ethan is, and Jules can tell me he's not. Thank you so much, Jules, for being here. I'm sure it was hard to come on after I got further than you in Drunkvivor. And John, thank you very much for coming on to share your wisdom after your big success. I'm sure you're riding high on glory at the moment. So thank you, everyone. Check out the next episode this Sunday, and then we'll see you all next week. You all have a safe week.
See ya.